Where would you live if you were worth over $90 billion? Would you buy a remote tropical island only accessible by helicopter? Maybe you'll design an elaborate funhouse with crazy over-the-top features. Or would you stay humble and enjoy the simple pleasures of a 3-bedroom brick home and splurge in other ways? In this video, we're going to look inside the mega mansion of the world's second richest man, Bill Gates. We'll answer the burning questions. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can keep your business mind sharp with new and exciting content. They say money can't buy happiness. That may be true, but I'll tell you what it can buy: a great big house. So you can only imagine the size of the house that belongs to Microsoft co-founder and world's second richest man, Bill Gates. It took just over 7 years and $63 million for Bill Gates to design and build his insanely extravagant home in Medina, Washington. The house is named Xanadu 2.0 after the fictional home of Charles Foster Kane, the title character of Citizen Kane, a film that is entirely about how money and possessions were unable to make a tycoon happy. Take that however you want. Now, it comes as no surprise to anyone who knows Bill Gates is and how he got so successful. Mild-mannered he may seem, but he still is the co-founder and public face of Microsoft, the company that played such a large role in making computers a must-have for households. Microsoft ended up expanding well beyond its humble beginnings, and by the mid-80s, at just the age of 31, his net worth reached $1 billion. This made Bill Gates the richest man in the world for a long time, until Amazon's Jeff Bezos took over. He must now settle for being only the second richest man in the world. This indignity has still afforded him a behemoth of a house in Medina. Medina is also home to Jeff Bezos, making it home to some of the wealthiest people on the planet. The mega mansion floor plan stands at a staggering 66,000 square feet, and the estimated value is ballooned to almost $225 million at last estimate. Tax alone on the property costs Gates over $1 million per year. The site is so big that an existing home on the land had to be removed by barge to make room. Gates also bought his neighbor's adjacent properties, just so he could be assured with the privacy he wanted. Unsurprisingly, the house is stacked with high-tech gadgetry and luxury inclusions that make me feel poor just talking about it. One of the main primary materials that make up much of the house's architecture is 500-year-old Douglas fir trees, with over 500,000 board feet of lumber needed to complete the project. The construction was a mammoth task, taking over 7 years and using 300 construction workers, including 100 specialist electricians. Xanadu 2.0 uses state-of-the-art eco-technology to utilize its natural environment to minimize heat loss. Aptly named an earth-sheltered house, it is embedded in the terrain and thus effectively regulates its own temperature. The hillside is in an earthquake zone, so the foundation sits on concrete piers and uses tiebacks and steel reinforcements several times stronger than the minimum required by the building code. Massive retaining walls several feet thick in places created a drainage problem, solved by collecting runoff in buried pipes that feed into the man-made estuary. The house boasts 7 bedrooms and, wait for it, 24 bathrooms. I guess Bill likes spending more time in the toilet than he does sleeping. In total, there are 6 kitchens, which are deployed in the entire area of the house, so they're easily available for every occasion. There are 84 steps down from the entrance to the ground floor. Of course, you can always just take the elevator if you're not feeling it. Also, Xanadu 2.0 has a high-tech sensor system which allows guests to personalize the climate and lighting in the room where they're located. Miles of communication cable, largely fiber optic, run throughout the house, linking computer servers powered by the Windows NT operating system. When they arrive, guests will receive a PIN code that allows them to interact with sensors which are distributed throughout the house. They can enter their preference in terms of temperature and lighting, and each room adapts to their wishes. Speakers hidden behind the wallpaper give you the ability to enjoy your favorite music as you move from one room to another. Works of art adorn the walls of the mansion, displayed on a series of computer screens worth a combined total of over $150,000. Anyone can make the screens display their favorite paintings or photographs, and these can also be programmed to follow you from room to room. Security is tight even on a normal day, but in 2004, when the House hosted a party for the National Governors Association, a temporary security zone was placed around the entire estate, blocking access to large portions of Lake Washington. Governors had to arrive to the estate by boat. The pool is so big, it's housed in its own separate villa that at 3,900 square feet is bigger than my entire house. The pool also has a fossil motif on the floor and has its own underwater music system that syncs with your pin-based profile preferences. From this pool, you can easily access the outdoor terraces. All you need to do is dive under a glass wall and you have arrived. Also inside, Xanadu 2.0 has 4 locker rooms with showers and 2 baths. Also, there's a room with a trampoline and very, very high ceilings. Photos or videos of the famous trampoline room are scarce, so we can only imagine the size and type novelty items built into a room designed just to jump really high. We're sure that keeping fit and in shape on it is much more fun than conventional fitness equipment. Speaking of fitness, there's also a sauna, steam bath, and the aforementioned male and female dressing rooms. I'd take this over a traditional gym any day. When you're that filthy stinkin' rich, it'd be easy to assume Bill Gates would have a lot of friends and would entertain guests or events regularly at his home. So it's no surprise to learn Xanadu 2.0 has a massive 1,000 square foot reception hall, and with enough room for 200 guests, it boasts a 6-foot wide fireplace that dominates one wall, while the other wall is equipped with a 22-foot wide video screen. Bill Gates has a huge library. Measured at over 2,100 square feet, the library has a dome roof and 2 secret bookcases, including one that reveals a hidden bar. On the ceiling, you'll find a quote from The Great Gatsby that reads, "He had come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it." The most extravagant of all the items in the library? The Codex Leicester, a 16th century Leonardo da Vinci manuscript that Gates bought at auction for $30.8 million in 1994. Attached to the library is a private theater that can accommodate over 20 guests. It's styled in classic Art Deco, with comfortable armchairs, sofas, and even a popcorn maker. Bill Gates is a self-confessed car nut, so it's no wonder his home is a series of different garages that can house up to 23 different cars. The most interesting garage, however, is an underground cave made out of concrete and stainless steel. That garage alone can park 10 cars. Some of the concrete was purposely broken to give it a rough, deconstructivist look. Counted among his favorites is a Porsche 911, Bill's first big splurge after Microsoft really took off. But it's not just the house that's expensive and over the top. The grounds themselves boast some pretty crazy additions. Bill Gates has a favorite tree planted on his property, and it's monitored 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The 40-year-old maple tree is so loved by Gates that he's installed cameras and environmental sensors to make sure it's never dry, sick, or damaged. An automatic irrigation system means that watering the tree is done automatically. To mitigate waste and to provide a luxurious backdrop, a stream and wetland estuary were created. The waters were stocked with salmon and sea-run cutthroat trout. The property backs onto Lake Washington, a site not famous for its sandy white beaches. So to get around this, Bill Gates has sand imported by the barge load from the Caribbean every single year. Microsoft holds an auction each year where employees donate products and services to be bid on. Proceeds go to the company's charitable fund. In the past, Gates has donated private tours of Xanadu 2.0. A Microsoft employee once won the tour with a bid of $35,000. But the biggest cost for the giant mansion that is Xanadu 2.0 isn't staff, power or maintenance, or barge loads of Caribbean sand. It's the cost of replacing all the windows that keeps crashing. So there's living comfortable, and then there's Bill Gates. Although, to be fair, his house is only worth a fraction of how much he's worth, but it's safe to say he's living a life that almost all of us could only ever dream of. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what kind of house you'd build if you had an unlimited amount of money. Where would you build it? What crazy features would you include? Let us know. We read the comments and we'll pin the best responses. Make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you can keep up to date with our regularly uploaded content. Bye for now!